Hello. Before we dive into part 2 of this episode, I gotta ask, did you catch part 1? If not, hit pause real quick. You'll want to start from the beginning to get the full effect. The link to part 1 is right down in the description below. Go ahead, catch up, and we'll be right here waiting for you, ready to dive into part 2 when you're all set. It's worth it, I promise. Okay, so this season's big question is, how did you awaken your brand magic? Was there a moment that everything aligned and you saw this unique magic that you had to bring to the table?
So here's a really good piece of information. I started doing this, oh boy, probably not until I was 40. I'm 50 now. But I don't care. Okay. So that's my motto. I don't give a crap. So if you don't like what I'm doing, then don't listen. But I get up every day and maybe have a different message in my head, or, oh, I had this idea and I want to share it. And I'm going to go live on Instagram and I'm going to talk about this thing for trichotillomania that really works and this, whatever. But if you like me, great. If you don't, I don't care. I want to be my most authentic self. And although I do value other people's opinions, I don't care. It's nice, but I'm like at the point in my life where it's like, who gives a crap? I'm going to do what I want to do. And if you don't like it, then don't follow me. But don't have anything to do with me. But I really don't care. I don't let it get me down.
I turned 50 this month. I do feel like there is a shift that happens.
Yeah.
Around this age, and maybe it's because of women in society, like we've been told to be perfect and do all these things and whatever our whole lives, but we're like, you know what? But I use the phrase, some will, some won't, so what?
Okay. Yes, I love that. That's exactly what it is. And I've been doing this for years. And I tell my clients, who cares? Nobody cares. Just do what you want to do. Don't be obsessed with what other people think about you. And they don't care. But Mel Robbins, who I'm sure you know Mel Robbins is, I just started reading one of her books and...
Let Them, or which one?
Yeah,
I read it. It's so good. I think it's very respectful of people in the process. And this whole notion of emotional maturity in that, let them, let me, is, I think, one of the most powerful things, because I think so many of us, and I just was listening to her before we got on our podcast, so many people are like an 8-year-old child running around with their wounds, screaming out. And if you look at people as an 8-year-old child, you give them so much more grace to just do what they need to do and ask them what they need. One of the things that I've really worked on, and I've talked to a lot of my team about, is that when you grow and you leave your family's home, you know what you get to do? You get to be your own parent. So if you need something, you can give it to yourself. You don't need someone else to give it into you anymore. You can give it to yourself. And that was like a life-changing thought for me, was this idea that you could give it to yourself. I don't need to wait for someone to validate me.
I know. I used to feel really guilty if I'd take a nap during the day.
Yes.
I wasn't working full-time and I had these 2 kids, and my husband, I was working part-time from home, and I thought he'd come home from work and I'd have to tell him, he'd ask me what I did all day, and I'd feel guilty that I took a nap. I don't care now. If I'm tired, I lie down. If I don't want to work that day and I don't have any clients and I didn't feel like sending out an email to my 5,000 contacts, who cares?
But you know what? You get to create the exact business that you want. So if you like naps, you can set aside time intentionally on your calendar to have a nap and not have to worry about it. So you get to do that. And the older you get, the more you're like, I'm going to do that.
And I don't feel bad about it anymore. I used to feel really guilty. And now it's, you know what? I don't care. Yeah, I agree.
What's the hardest thing about marketing for you, and why?
The hardest thing about marketing for me is being consistent. I'm consistent with my podcast marketing. An episode comes out and I have something to promote. But in between there, do I really want to do Testimonial Tuesday? Do I really want to do Tapping Thursday? Things that I've come up with. It's hard. And I'm a type A personality. Everything in my house is completely organized. I'm always all put together. It's always all there. But it's hard when you're your only person. You're your own boss. I've been trying to not put so much weight on what I did and what I didn't do. It's just being okay with, hey, I helped these 3 clients today and I feel really good about that. And so what if I don't have anyone on Friday and I go to Target instead? I lost my dog of 16 years back in January. And I was like way offline for that for a month. And you just saw before we got on that now I have a new little puppy that has been very healing. But you know what? I felt so guilty that I didn't show up for people for a month. But then I thought, you know what? Why would anyone want me when I'm not right? Like I needed that time and I'm still healing and I'm actually finding a way to balance more family time. It's more equal instead of being really focused on my business. It's more after this dog passed and I've been healing from that. It's more, you know what? It's okay to just focus on something else different. Maybe this is my way, my sign to change my path a little bit, but it's hard to not be hard on yourself.
It goes with the linear thing again. Like some steps are tiny and some steps are big, and they're not always visible either. It's so hard. And you have to motivate yourself for everything. And sometimes you have to do the things that you don't even like to do, the drivers and the drainers, because you're the business. So you have to do the thing. It is a lot of mental energy. It's a lot of physical energy. I work with mostly purpose-driven entrepreneurs in the service-based industry, the people who are serving others. Yeah. They're helping people. And we're every day helping others. I was talking to a client yesterday. She said, so you can give instead of an empty cup from an empty cup, but a cup from the overflow, not the empty cup.
I tell my clients that all the time. You have to fill up that before you can help someone else.
Yeah. But we don't always take our own advice. It's like the story of the cobbler who has no shoes. Like it's really easy to do marketing for everyone else, but to do it for yourself is a lot harder. So what's the biggest marketing mistake you've made and how did it help you grow?
The biggest marketing mistake I've made. I don't know. I've made so many mistakes. It's hard to even tell you which one. It's paying for advertising. I remember paying for advertising and then being like, that was the dumbest thing I ever did. I'm not doing paid ads on any social media anymore. Trying to get followers by doing something stupid, like offering free stuff to get followers. That was dumb. And there are so many things, Beverly, I don't even know where to start, but they're trial and error. And I probably learned after all these years of being in marketing and everything, like less is more. Yeah. And my way of thinking as an artist, less is more. You can see behind me, this is the piece of art in my home. Less is more.
I'm whimsical and colorful.
There's nothing wrong with that. I love it. And I appreciate that. This is me when it comes to marketing is always like, why am I doing this? Just less is more.
So this goes back to you don't have to do the social media. You could do it, but you don't have to. Like less is more. I think where I know that's powerful is if when you have a niche and you have a message and just speaking to them where they are, when they are, like that. That is what you need to do. Yeah. And if you have one killer knockout strategy like a podcast and it works for you, you don't really have to do anything else.
Right. Yeah.
If it works for you, it's so good. Entrepreneurs are notoriously hard on ourselves. We want to build things. We want to do things. We want to grow. We have all these like ideas, but you're right. Less is more. And simple doesn't mean that it's not going to work. Simple just means it's easier on your own mental health and your own business if you can simplify and organize and focus.
Probably comparing myself to other people as other entrepreneurs, friends of mine, women business owners, and all the stuff they're doing. And like when we'll go out and have coffee and they'll ask me, are you doing X, Y, and Z? And then I leave there and I think I am the worst business owner ever. It makes me feel like I'm not doing enough.
No, an comparison trap is not a good place to be. Do not sit in that. What works for you is not going to work for someone else. Your business is different. You are different. There's so many pieces of that puzzle that are so unique to you that you can't possibly, it's like apples, oranges. Like you cannot do that to yourself. You will drive yourself crazy. So don't do that. Then it becomes this list of shoulds, right? And then you're shooting all over yourself and you're not doing actually anything you want to do. So stop. Like they're having the exact same conversation when they go home with themselves about how does she only do podcasting and she has a legit business? How is that possible? What is she doing differently? So just lean hard into you and your particular niche and what you are doing and how you're serving and showing up. Don't worry about anybody else.
I love that advice.
So I have a magic hat because, it's got to be more bling and less simple. Yeah. And more crazy and wild. And it has a ton of questions inside. And it's like a lightning round. It's my version of the lightning round.
Okay.
And in here are some like deep questions, but also some fun questions.
Right. We'll see here.
What's a surprising way that your personal values show up in your business?
My personal values. I'm an honest person in general. And I'm very honest with my clients. If something isn't working for them, I do a ton of research. When I'm not with them, I'll come up with hypnosis script. I'm not with them that I feel like will benefit them. I'm very honest and I really genuinely want people to succeed.
I love it. If you could collaborate with any brand or other entrepreneur, who would it be and why?
Or any other brand or entrepreneur. Oh my gosh. That is such a good question. There are so many like energy people, energy medicine people. I love Dr. Mary Haver. She's an OBGYN. She's a women's perimenopause.
Wait, I do know her. Was she
Oh my
on Mel
gosh.
Robbins' show?
Yes, she's been on Mel Robbins.
I know exactly who she is.
Dr. Mary Haver was just on Oprah for this menopause special that was so fabulous.
It's on my list, though, to watch.
Yeah, watch it immediately.
Yeah, we need more information about that out in the world. What is the hardest no you've ever had to say in business and why?
If it wasn't the right client, it's hard to say no. I do a discovery call with all of my clients prior to, and I think on 2 occasions, I've only had to say, I'm sorry, we're just not a good fit. Usually they really want to work with me and our energy is very palpable, like we can feel it just on a quick Zoom call. I hate to say no to someone, but I know if it's not in either of our best interests, it's not going to work.
Yeah. If your business was an animal, which creature would it embody and why?
So I feel like my spirit animal was my dog that I just lost. And I've had visions of her prior to her passing during a sound bath where I would see these visions of this white deer. And I don't know, it's pure. White is a symbol of pure, it's a symbol of light. I feel the work that I do helps you clear out your past and be the best version of yourself. It gives you energy, it's you the space that you need to grow. And that deer comes up for me a lot. And I feel like it's part my previous dog and part my spirit animal, this white deer.
So the listeners that don't know this, before we get on the call, her new dog is white.
Yes. You know what? My dog Olive, who passed away, she sent me this dog. And it's a boy, but he is the male version of Olive. And she had it planned out because she knew the things that happened for this dog to come into my life. There's no way you could have planned that. It was all these things happened in a row. And it was like, okay, she made this dog for me. Now I have another white dog. But yeah, so there's something there with that white deer, the white dog.
I love it. What is something in your business that brings you pure joy?
Oh my gosh, when my clients text me, I'm one of the only EFT practitioners, maybe the only one that I know that lets their client text them 24/7. And I will answer you right then unless I'm asleep. And they'll message me, I had this win. I didn't pull my hair for a week since our last session, or my kid threw up and I didn't have to leave the house, or I went to X, Y, and Z and didn't have a panic attack. And it's the best thing I could say when my clients have a win. The work that I'm doing is helping, and I know that I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, it's very affirming for sure. What are the 3 most important ingredients for your recipe for success?
To be authentic, just be your authentic self. Don't sell someone a load of crap that you don't believe in. And that's another thing, to believe in what you're doing and go about it wholeheartedly. If you're confused, it probably isn't your path. Just use your intuition. You'll get guided in different ways. And sometimes you'll need to pull back. Sometimes you'll need to go forward. But keep going until something stops you is my motto. Keep moving forward until there's a roadblock.
So that is the end of the magic hat round. I feel like that was a really great way to end that. But I also have a magic wand.
Does it make dinner for me? Because I have no idea what to make for dinner tonight.
No, the magic wand is actually going to take us back in time. I'd say probably either post-graduation of college or high school. You can decide. I would like you to go to that particular young Liz and give her one piece of advice that you wish you knew when you were that age.
Okay, so post-college graduation would have been, you're going to be successful. And this hair thing doesn't define you, but It was a really hard existence as a teenager, going through college. I wore a wig. I had no eyelashes. I had no hair. It was debilitating. But just to know everything's going to be okay, you're going to be successful. And this hair thing, it was a gift. Okay.
And now you have this beautiful head of brunette, dark, beautiful curly hair. It's like down to the middle of your back. So like legit beautiful head of hair. But I agree with you. And the reason why I'm going to say this is when we fostered, we had kids with lots of trauma. And we were watching a mortar show. I don't ever really watch it, but she was watching it. She's 10 years old. Every kind of trauma you could possibly imagine this child had gone through. And we had been trying to work through some of her pain, and she was very outwardly angry. And I said to her, it's as if you're hoarding your pain.
Oh.
And you won't let it go. That's like you holding on to all those bits of it. So what I see for you, because I totally saw it, is all of this is going to be part of your purpose in the world. And you will help others because of what has happened to you. And she's 10. She couldn't really understand that. But I felt like for her, instead of holding on to it, it was as if she needed to give it to others. And so I was trying to help her understand. And I felt like that was a really good analogy for her because she could see it. When we go through our stuff and our trauma in our heads, we don't always get to see it partitioned that way. And she looked at me with these big brown eyes and as if, wow, like maybe that is the purpose of all of this pain. And maybe somebody had told you that at 10, maybe it would have been better for you.
Yeah, no one ever said that to me. And I just thought this is the worst affliction that anyone could ever have. What did I do to deserve this? If I would have known this is going to make you strong and you're going to be able to help people.
I feel like the journey you were on was important for you to get to where you are today. What would that Liz, same age, what would she say to you, knowing where you are now?
She would say, you got this. Don't worry. You got this. Bigger and better things are on their way. This is your story. Embrace it.
So I'm going to wave the wand again, and we're going to go loads and loads of years ahead. And someone's saying your eulogy. Do you think is the most significant legacy or impact that people will be talking about after you pass away?
Just the gift of my energy. Like, I have so many people that say that my energy is contagious, that my laugh is contagious, that I vibrate at such a high frequency, that I'm funny, that I'm a joy to be around. I just want people to talk about that part of me, that all of that will be missed because it was so much of who I am.
That's beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to bring you back into today, and we're talking to those entrepreneurs that are listening. What is one strategy that you think they could do today to put into action right now to help them awaken their brand magic, to help them be successful with their business? What could they do to awaken their brand magic? That maybe you have a tip that you've discovered.
Yeah, I think it's just don't try so hard. You don't have to be doing something every single second of every day that has to do with your business or let things unfold in the time that they're meant to, because the more you push, it's actually the energy is working against you. Like letting go, just saying, you know what, I give it up. It's going to happen when it's meant to happen, when the universe is meant to give it to me, whatever. But I'm here for the ride, and whatever's meant to be, I'm willing to accept, and just be open to whatever that is for their business and whatever comes of it.
I ask this question of myself all the time. When will I be satisfied in what has happened? What is happening? Will I be 80 when I'm like, okay, I'm good. Okay, I'm good. I've done my thing, whatever. Because I'm a very hard worker, extremely driven, type A personality. And I wonder sometimes, am I pushing it too hard and not just letting it be? So there's this balance, this duality of hard work and do the thing, but also let it be at the same time. And I don't know if it's just as you get older, you can do that more. I don't know, but it's happening more. So I feel like that is part of it. There's a season for everything. So sometimes you're pushing, sometimes you're waiting, sometimes you're pulling a little, I feel like. So it's an interesting bit of wisdom for sure for our listeners. So before we wrap up, Liz, I would love for you to share where people can learn more about you, maybe your podcast, your website. Like, how do they find you?
Yes, if anyone is interested and wants to know more about me, about EFT, about hypnotherapy, you can find me at my website, tapintohealth.net. On Instagram, I am at tapintohealth_EFT. And my podcast is on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and it's just my business name, Tap Into Health. And I offer a free discovery call of 15, 20 minutes, however long it takes us to get to know each other. You can schedule that on my website anytime. And I would love to get to connect.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This has been so fun, Liz. I appreciate you sharing your wisdom and your journey and your magic with us. I know our listeners are going to walk away feeling inspired and ready to take action. I'm so grateful
for March
time and the impact that you are making in the world and helping people overcome disabilities that have affected their life so deeply. I hope today's episode a little fire under each of you, my listeners, and gave you some new ideas and most of all, inspired you to take a little bit of action, one small step. Because here's the thing, your message matters, your work matters, and the world needs to hear what you have to say. Marketing isn't just visibility. It's about impact. It's about connecting with the right people in a way that feels true to you. So keep showing up, keep sharing your brilliance, and keep making magic in the world. And hey, if you ever feel stuck, know that we don't have to do this alone. We are here to help you turn that little spark into a wildfire. So until next time, keep sparking and igniting. Thank you so much for tuning into the Spark and Ignite Your Marketing podcast. I hope you found today's conversation or activation be something clear and actionable that you can take back to your very own business. If you found this helpful, I'd love it if you take a moment to share your thoughts in a review. Not only does this help us see what's working and what you'd like to hear more of, but it also helps other business owners just like you find the sparks that they need. And if you know someone who could use today's tips, why not share this episode with them? A little inspiration can go a long way, and together we can help more people simplify their marketing and make their business shine.